Alright. Get a couple last second things set up and we'll be all good.
I live. I'm here.
Woo! Yeah, I'm just doing a couple last minute things to set up. We are streaming at this point.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
You're a little quiet if you're far from your mic.
Yeah, I am a little bit. I was just getting set up.
Yeah, no worries.
Ah, flying.
Well, if I remember from the last session at the end, Proserpine had started to fly up because of the distraction.
Yeah, he was getting ready to hop up because
She.
Yep.
Yeah.
the
Now how do I move her up again?
alt
Oh wait, no.
or control
Elevate.
control will go up and down, alt will turn.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I'm actually.
Yeah. With that being said, giving a quick recap of what ended up happening in the last session. You guys started off in the new world, the new land per se, which you never learn the name of. Meeting people of a kingdom and empire that you never learned the empire's name of either. And you did, however, learn of the new dragon tribe as well as how things are generally run here, which was unusual to find that it seems everyone more or less is controlled by the humans here, or the scavengers, as you used to call them. And after asking a little bit of information, learning the dragon tribe and whatnot, you eventually ended up being led here by Hatchet and Hatchet's dragon fury, in which point you all ended up kind of giving your names, but after you ended up giving, your names, she very quickly caught on to Sword's name and figured out that they were once the general of the army, and they ended up doing something wrong and were basically canned, thrown overboard on a ship, and that's how Isopod came across them. They ended up apparently landing near the island that they were on, and it started y'all's whole journey over here. However, they were arrested at that point, and you ended up allowing it to happen in favor of, not trying to start any form of battles at this point. After a little bit, you ended up agreeing to have dinner roughly in about a few hours' time, whenever, the meal would be prepared, but you were approached by a rebel. She ended up going by the name of Dagger. You ended up going alongside with her and went back to her place, learning that, well, things aren't entirely as they seem here, which you already partially expected, but that's fine. Apparently, Isopod's wife, Mantis, is here, and now you decided to try and get her back. You learned that Elm, apparently, as far as you could tell, might be immortal. Glimmer's companion that he ended up bringing along. But it's
She.
not perfectly understood at this point if Elm is or isn't. Either way, y'all decided to do a breakout in order to try and free Sword. And we last left off specifically where the distraction had started, and Sword here was just found right as we ended up ending our last session. The one who ended up beginning an attack was actually, interesting enough, one of the Iron Wings from the tribe that you ended up coming across. That's going to be more information that you're going to need to gather later, but as for right now, what is it that you guys are all doing to start off with?
So since she agreed, so since she's going to be helping out with the distraction, Frostbite is just going to be flying about trying to be a nuisance. And since she, since last time she learned that irons aren't exactly all that great at flying, she's going to try and make sure that she keeps the attention of any Iron Wings and their riders that may try and come out to end.
Okay. Is moss in your bag?
Situation.
Is moss in your bag?
Yes. Bag is closed, so she's been kept secure.
Okay.
Well, so because of the hold on one second. Okay, because of the spell Misty Step that Glimmer has stored in that ring,
Yep.
she can't actually teleport other people with her per the rules of the spell.
Yep.
So Elm is just going to be stuck outside if she decides to go in there.
All right.
Is Isopod going to be joining?
Isopod will in fact be joining.
Awesome. So Glimmer is going to use the ring and Misty Step directly into. Well, I suppose. How do I go through?
So what you can do is at the very top right, you'll notice a green bar at the top. Drag
Yeah.
that green bar down until you can actually view inside, and then you'll just be able to drag your character over the little wall.
I seem to be slamming Glimmer's face into the wall instead.
There. Go ahead and just lower you down. Oh, it's not want to let me just lower it down again a little bit farther this time. There we go. Hopefully that'll allow me to be able to.
I mean, failing that, you could just walk her through the front door.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk you through the front door at this point.
Glimmer's just like, oh, I can't get through. I'm just gonna go in the front door. It's like, oh, hey guys, yeah, I'm just gonna let this guy out. What do you mean?
So, hang on, guys. Do you
Right,
want
pretend
to
you didn't see me.
teleport into the cell or outside of the cell?
Well, that's a good question. What do you think, Athena?
Probably directly outside the spell. I mean,
Okay.
cell.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, outside the cell is what would be happening here.
You do so.
Man, it sure is a good thing I have a spell that helps to unlock these things.
Oh, indeed you do.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Would you like
I
to
sure do.
peer into the window and then unlock it from looking outside, or be inside with?
I'm
Probably
probably
better.
want to be inside.
Yeah.
Inside?
My,
Okay.
my reasoning for agreeing with that is less people seeing you, the better. As you walk in through the front door.
As you walk in through the front door. Hey, I'm just here in order to
Oh my
also help my
gosh.
friend. Don't worry about it.
Finger guns.
So I just realized something.
Yeah.
We didn't have to be inside to unlock it. We just have to be able to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been good to know that, but it's too late now. It's fine.
And Icepod forgot. He has only ever used it when he was like touching it.
Yeah.
There.
There you go. Lore reasons.
Yeah.
Lore.
Sword will
Yeah.
kind of turn around, seeing the both of you, and come up to the cell. What are you doing?
Not gonna question how we appeared out of thin air, are you? Okay.
I saw a shark turn into this weird tentacle monster. You appearing isn't going to make much of a difference at this point.
I'm assuming that Glimmer is
She's got a point.
Translating.
probably,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in that
Definitely
case, Isopod being like, that's a good point.
Yeah. What do you know? So I didn't think this far ahead. How are we opening this thing? Glimmer's just gonna like grab on the door and shake it a bit. That's not moving.
Mm-hmm. As you do
Do
so,
you remember that thing
you
I was
hear a
talking
little
about?
bit of clanking of footsteps coming down a hallway.
One moment. I have.
You know what? Move aside.
Okay.
He goes over, pokes the lock thingy with his claw, and he uses knock.
Okay.
And unlocks it.
It unlocks. The thing that your character did not remember is that, as per the spell, it makes a very loud and audible sound out to 300 feet.
Oh.
And so you just hear the loudest chunk as the lock unlocks and the door swings open.
What the? By the moons, Isopod. Warn someone before you do that. Why did you do that?
To get her out.
Question, would Frost and Pine hear that from outside?
Everyone in 300 feet hears that. But with that being said, there is now a guard in the back of the hallway. He looks pretty decently well armored.
Glimmer is just going to point at him, and one of the random trinkets on her side is going to glow a little bit, and she's just going to say, "Forget. I'm casting command."
Ooh, very nice. I'm pretty sure you're in range. I'm just gonna double check, but I'm pretty sure.
Feet. It's
Forget what?
Yeah, you're definitely in range. All right.
Wisdom saving throw.
I shall. That is the
she's...
wrong thing. The dice is right here.
Yeah.
What's the DC?
Yeah.
The DC is.
They fail because I'm pretty sure your DC is higher than a 12.
It certainly is.
Then yep, they fail.
Now the extent of how much this person's going to forget is completely up to how you want to handle that, but we're just going to walk out.
Yeah.
Just out the front door.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I mean, unless we actually, can we fit up the stairs to the roof, do you think?
You can. Everything is physically built for the size of dragons. Specifically dragons with a whole bunch of spikes on their back. They've never seen your kind before. So it's ever so slightly larger than you would normally have, but everything is built for the size of dragons. So that way, if a dragon is required, it can always get in.
Okay. So we're going to walk out and go out through the roof. We could have just gone in that way, but it's better to be seen going out rather than going in and then out.
Okay. Do I need to kind of walk you guys, or are you able to...
I think I need to be walked.
Okay, I'll just walk you guys.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask... I'll figure it out another time. Still haven't figured out how to do it because my other computer previously was like... if I wanted to do something, it would almost crash.
Okay. As you get up the stairs, you can see just in front of you happens to be somebody that you don't entirely recognize. They're not wearing the usual like dragon armor and whatnot. They're wearing something strange. You could see the sun is just above you with the grates. There are some grates covering, but you're certain that you can likely maybe destroy one of the grates or do something with one of them in order to help you get out. But otherwise, you can see just right here. I don't know if y'all able to see it yet. Right here.
I don't even know where I am right now.
Move,
yeah,
I got thrown.
Right here.
A million arrows.
Right here, you can see this guy.
And who is this? Glimmer is just going to gesture helplessly at this person.
Kind of separate you guys just a little bit. Are you asking him directly or?
Just everybody, including this person.
Technology, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. But anyways, are you specifically asking the person who they are, or?
At this point, might as well.
I'm sorry.
He kind of looks at you a bit quizzically, and he ends up kind of holding his arm out a small bit. Is this a prison break?
Well, this is a prison, and we are breaking something, so yes, technically.
Right. Well, unfortunately, I can't exactly allow that to happen.
And why is that?
I'm kind of the warden. You'll have to forgive me for this. And he is going to end up using what you can only assume is the same spell you used.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Give me one moment. I got +3 to that, and another +1, so that's cool. Okay, let's... that's a 21.
You definitely pass. You can end up feeling the magic that you like to use with your little trinkets kind of seemingly beginning to affect you, which is strange because no scavengers have had this ability before, and as far as you can tell, he's not holding any objects to do this. He's not doing anything. He's just holding out his hand as you ended up hearing him say grovel, and that was it. And you started to feel the magic start to take hold, but you very quickly ended up brushing it off.
Yeah. Don't think that worked for you.
Well,
What do I do now?
the old-fashioned way, then, I guess. And at this point, if you are going to fight, I'm gonna need a initiative roll.
I'm debating on whether or not I should try using command again.
Are you back in?
Isn't it like a one-use spell or something?
No, I have spell slots. It's just debating on... my spell slots are extremely finite compared to yours.
Yep. Do you have control over your character again? Are you able to move it?
Yes, it looks like it. Let me
Okay.
see. Let me make sure. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So
Finally.
all you need to do is just kind of come in through this front door over here, and then you can
There's a front
walk.
door.
Yep. And then you can just walk up the stairs.
I heard it. I go up the stairs.
Oh, Isopod, you seem to have exited through the wall. Why are you coming all the way back through the front door?
Oh.
And anyway, I think... Do I have enough time, do you think, to actually try to use command?
You could try and use command again if you'd like.
Wait. Are we supposed to not be on the roof?
No, we're 4 down.
No! Oh.
I'm gonna cast command again, and I'm going to say...
Oh my
Leap.
gosh, I can't put him down. There, I put him down.
Just gonna tell this guy to sleep.
Ooh, okay. So he's gonna make his wisdom save. Let's go ahead and just close all these so I don't have to worry about them. Yeah. Fling my dice. That's definitely a pass.
What do you get?
18 plus.
Damn. Don't seem like that worked for me either.
And with that, he has his sword drawn. And it is initiative time. Go ahead and roll your initiative. You are also there, Isopod, so you're able to roll. Meanwhile, we'll pause on that while y'all get those set, and we'll move over to Aaron and the distraction that's currently happening.
Alright.
I got
Wait,
an
where is the
11.
door? Oh, there's the door, I think.
I got an 11 on my initiative.
Yeah, the stairs are just up here.
Wait, up there?
Yep, just up here.
Bro's banished to the basement.
Meanwhile, Aaron, what is it that you are doing as this is going on?
Essentially, Frostpine is going about making a nuisance of herself, assisting the distraction, and trying to draw the attention of any iron wings and their riders to sort of keep them away from the jail,
Mhm.
but also keep a distance from them, just for them knowing that, having learned that they aren't exactly great flyers.
Okay. As far as you can tell, and a little bit of knowledge, there is a total of 4 turns until the Iron Wings get here via combat. So this is basically a clock timer. It'll be round based, so you guys can end up doing some things because you can kind of see and hear them off in the distance. They're too far away to get to you right now. So you can, go about and keep distracting people and keep people off of where Sword is to kind of help them get out. And you can help your, as far as you can tell, one and only Iron Wing friend over here who's started to help with the distraction.
I can't do it. I'm sorry, I cannot. I actively cannot maneuver up those stairs.
Alright, well, you can be at the bottom of the stairs then. That's fine.
Yeah,
I can't even maneuver in that building anymore.
Yeah.
I've given up. I'm sorry.
No worries. We can pretend that your character model is over here and do all of your actions outside.
Okay.
Isopod just chilling with the guards outside.
So how was your day?
Great. Nobody's broken out in 17 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I have some bad news for you.
No.
Yeah.
We ran out of cheese.
Tired.
On the bright side, if
Yeah,
you do
there's
want to
no cheese.
on the bright side, if you do want to keep an eye on the battle and things, you can just click on the character models that everybody is selected as and jump straight to them, and you'll even end up being able to see inside.
Right. That is nice to know.
So, I rolled an 11 on my initiative, by the way.
Oh, I didn't even roll for initiative. I was too busy trying to figure out how to maneuver.
All good.
Should I roll initiative as well? Just to...
Yes.
I got a 6.
10.
I gotta admit, I didn't even know the knock spell did that.
Me either. Because I didn't pay attention.
Alright, so I need to roll one more.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Hmm.
If you have... Do you have Quiet Spell? Does that even work for that?
Wait, I think I do.
Would it work like that?
No, it's Careful spell that I have. And Settle spell.
What did you have, Aaron?
I got a
Oh.
6.
6.
Planet
Okay.
spell is subtle spell.
Oh. Okay, so there's no verbal or somatic components to it, but that doesn't prevent the spell's effect from creating the noise from the look of it.
Oh, okay, fair.
Oh well. Now we know. We can make a very loud knocking, like unlocking sound, like
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts style.
Kingdom Hearts style.
Turn order has been applied. Glimmer, you are up first.
Of all people. I
All
don't
people.
think Glimmer would want to kill this person.
Mm.
So I think I'm going to opt for extremely non-lethal attacking.
Okay, so all of your attacks are aimed at non-lethality.
Correct. I think, in fact, do I have something for that? I'm gonna mark off a spell slot real quick. I forgot earlier. I guess I'm gonna go for first. I'm gonna go for a tail swipe and just try to smack this person into the wall if I can.
Alrighty.
That's a 22 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Yep, 7 damage.
Okay.
That's just a bonus action. I'm going to, I guess, using the blunt end of the halberd for this. Do just like a smack. 14 doesn't hit, I assume.
14 does not.
Okay, and then again, swing for a 10 to hit. Yeah, it's perfect.
Does not hit as well.
Okay. I'm gonna blame that one on her coughing up a ton of smoke.
Fair enough. He is coughing as well. There's a ton of smoke in his face.
Oh,
That
wait a minute. I just realized.
You can just cough in his face.
Yeah, Glimmer could just cough in someone's face as a distraction.
Is that your turn?
It'll leave him.
The realization of that. Oh my god, I can cough in people's faces to make them cough as well.
It's like essentially.
Perfect.
It's essentially just unignited flame stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Aaron, Frosted Pine, you're up next.
Give me one moment. I will be
Huh?
right back.
Wait, what did Frosted Pine get for initiative?
I got a 6, didn't
I got a 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me just yeet. Apply. There you go.
I will
Fixed.
be right back.
Isopod. Destroy.
I don't know. I guess Coral Eat for a 13 to hit, probably not.
A 13 does not. No.
Sadness. Okay, well, I guess I'll just be like, ah, and get a little closer to Limner and be like, yeah, so I think I messed up. I threw coral at him, and it didn't work.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, it will be hard to get out of these grates at the top. I could give you a small bit of a hint in order to help you guys if you like.
I'm back.
Okay.
What did I miss?
I threw coral at him and missed horribly.
Oh, how do you
You know,
miss?
I don't think coral is my friend right now.
You know, I vibe with that.
Yeah.
So is that
So
it
we
then?
know it's
Yeah.
Okay. Frosted Pine.
Frostbite is just going to swing down low to the ground and just want to make an intimidation check, just trying to drive people away from the prison.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
I got a 14.
14's pretty good. You'll get all the like civilians and whatnot in the general area. Ah. Try
I'd
that
assume the guards are probably like, oh, it's just a dragon.
Yeah, they're used to this kind of stuff. I'll move these guys a little bit.
I'm gonna mess with the guard by flicking his thumb with my tail as I go, with the tip of my tail as I go past.
All right.
Like
And
not actually an attack, but just like,
Yeah.
just fucking with him.
is that your turn?
Yep.
Okay. It is time for your one friend. He is going to kind of fly over here. Having heard the lock spell kind of go off and hearing how bad it's getting, he is going to land right about here because flying is not easy for these guys. And he is going to bite at this soldier right here.
Where is here?
Here is there.
Oh, there. Okay. Couldn't even see the dragon.
And successfully ends up hitting, dealing a bit of damage. And that'll be his turn. It is time for the spellcaster. He is going to move in a little bit closer. He needs to be just a little bit closer than you'd need to be with your weaponry. And he is going to try and attack.
Okay.
Does a 15 hit your AC?
No.
All right, that is all that he can do. It is Sword's turn. Sword, unfortunately, does not have any weapons at the moment. Sword is going to kind of look through your bag that you have on you. Do you have any daggers of any sort?
Asking.
Glimmer.
I have a spear, though it is dragon sized.
Yeah, that's why she was looking for a dagger if you had one. No.
Wasn't
There-
there one of the spike daggers mentioned last session in Glimmer's bag?
It was
Almost
like-
slipped into Isopod's bag.
I do have like a mess kit. There's like like a little. I think I have like a cooking knife in there, or like a steak knife or something.
Okay, well, she's gonna end up wasting her turn kind of looking in yours. You were closer, so she was trying to be able to still attack in the same turn. She will move back down a little bit to where Isopod is and go and retrieve her own dagger. But that'll end up having to be Sword's turn. It'll go back up to the top of the round with Glimmer. And the
Okay.
countdown timer goes down from 4 to 3.
All
That's
right.
it, 2. Come on, 3.
Glim Glam gonna do the best thing she can do, and that is tail smack. For a 14, that's a miss, I assume.
No, I wish I could actually hit the 3. Nah, I keep missing. What would you roll?
A 14, like I did before, so it's a miss.
Yeah.
Halberd for 11, and then another 11. I just can't hit.
Nobody can hit right now.
Yeah, it's probably also easy to blame it on the close quarters as well.
Isopod.
Okay, so
Some kind of spell, perhaps?
that's what I'm thinking about. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly would work.
Banishment?
I was literally looking at that just now, but at the same time, it's like, maybe not a good idea. We probably shouldn't.
They would return
Okay.
eventually.
They would return eventually. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have to do it. So,
All right.
like,
He needs to make a saving
hold.
throw.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. I'm flinging that dice.
You know.
Oh, he fails.
Oh.
So I was like, sorry.
Now
You
here's a random question for. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
You
Go
just
ahead.
hear a simple little ha, and he's gone.
So wait, Glimmer's just gonna be like, where did you, where did he go?
Oh.
Question for the
Oh.
DM: where did he go?
As per the spell, he's basically in another realm temporarily. He would be banished back to his home plane, but this is his home plane, and so basically he's just in a mini pocket dimension temporarily.
He's
Excellent.
in the bag of holding.
Yep, which you could always put sword in and then Misty step out of here.
Oh.
I don't have another Misty Step myself unless Isopod gave me one.
I don't think we actually have a bag of holding. I was just joking.
Well, I remember somebody grabbed a bag of holding.
Oh.
I don't know
I
who.
think that the original plan was for someone to Misty Step in with the ring that had and charge Misty Step on it, and then both that person and poor
Yep,
Misty Step out.
The reason I didn't do that is because there's a 50-50 chance because there's two spells in there. One's Misty Step, the other's Fireball.
Ah,
There's a chance that not knowing how this thing works, would probably blow them both
Yeah,
up.
I think that's actually been established several times anyways.
It
Yep.
has, yes.
So, at this point, are you gonna try and break one of the grates at the top?
Yeah, I think Glimmer's just gonna stab the halberd in and just like twist the metal and just try to snap it.
Okay, you'll do that on your turn, Frosted
Yeah.
Pine.
so Frosted Pine is going to use her ice breath right in front of a bunch of guards, like trying not to hit them. Like, does there need to be some sort of roll to make sure that it doesn't hit?
I mean, if you're
Yeah,
purposely
roll
aiming not to hit, then no. The closest guards to you for this case would be either down here or this one right here.
Where was the one? Where
Down
was the first
here
one?
or this one.
Try to just. Well, it was mainly meaning guards like that may have been on that side.
On which side?
Outside of the prison. Like just sort of
Uh,
trying to keep them away.
yeah, the only one close would be that one.
Yeah, some first one is just going to breathe fire. We do the frost breath right in front of them. Sort of.
Okay, you can move
And then
yourself
do
a bit closer if you want.
and then just toss over. Oh, that's weak.
Out of character kind of question here. Is it considered teleportation if the destination is utter annihilation?
What?
It's just a random thought that might have crossed a Glimmer's mind. Is like, well, okay, let's think for just a brief moment. Where the hell would this person have gone? They're not invisible. They clearly been moved somewhere. But like, what if Isopod had no idea where to go and they just got deleted?
Oh god.
Anyway, enough of the random thoughts.
Yep. This
Yeah,
guard
so
right.
after-
Yeah, this guard right here, now no longer surprised, is going to be entering into the turn order. So is this one, this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, since he's the closest, and that one, and then I think there's just one more over here. So yeah, this guy. There we go.
Alright, I'm going to just make another intimidation check just to try and scare off any guards outside.
Alrighty.
I got a 23!
Yeah, when
Very
it comes
scary.
to these guards over here, they might end up moving. We'll see. But your friend here is going to end up trying to bash at this one. Hits. And you end up seeing he uses his tail specifically and slashes it over, and you see several of the spikes at the back of the tail pierce the chest as he hoists him up and then tosses him to the side.
Bam.
Oh, that one is certainly dead.
And he's gonna end up moving up to get ready to get the next person. Yep, within range. Boom. Alright, that is his turn. It will go back to the human spellcaster. He doesn't have a turn. It'll go back to Sword. There's nothing here for Sword to do. So Sword is going to mount on top of Isopod's neck, where Sword likes to usually sit. And it is the knight's turn. That knight is dead. We're going to remove the knight from the turn order.
Dramatic cutaway to the knight. Oh, it's just dead on the ground. Okay, back to you.
This
Oh, it's just dead body.
Yeah.
guy is going to attack the dragon. Yeet. That's a miss. That is a big miss. This guy is going to move. And he is going to try and fire at that dragon.
Just throwing dice around.
Yeah, I
Get
can I
fired,
can
nerd.
spawn dice. It's so nice. That is going to hit, and he's going to end up dealing some damage.
Dang, getting fired sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He no longer has a job.
Dealing
At
10
least
points
it's better
of
than the guy who got
damage.
erased from this plane of existence for the next, like, what, 10, 20
Yeah, I
minutes or
remember.
something?
No, I did not remember to set the health.
It'll be like no time passed for him, I promise.
It actually is about exactly a minute.
Yeah. It'll be
Convenient.
fine. Yeah.
There we go. I should remember to set the health for these guys. This guy is then gonna end up going. That's gonna be his movement. This guy is gonna go. He hears the commotion inside. He's gonna move in. This guy hears the commotion. What? No, don't move him. I want this guy. Move right here. Oh, I forgot to switch. There we go. This guy needs to end up rolling to see if he's gonna get closer to a dragon. He is. He is absolutely getting closer to this dragon. Four, 5, 6. This guy is gonna need to roll to see if he decides to get closer to a dragon. Yes, he is getting closer to a dragon.
The only question is, what dragon?
Specifically, Frosted Pine.
Gotcha.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he actually has a crossbow. He is going to attempt to attack. Does
That
a
does not hit.
18 does not hit?
Nope, I have an AC of 19.
Ooh, very nice,
Nice.
very nice. All right, so that is his turn. Glimmer, it's back up to the top. You are attacking the grate above you.
Yes, I am. I
Alright.
am basically wedging the thing in and twisting the metal.
Yep. Go ahead and roll.
Roll what? Strength or let's say probably athletics, I'd imagine.
Yep.
Okay, that's a 15.
It's not perfect, but currently, at the very least, you have a human-sized hole. With that being said, there is something called the squeezing rule in D&D, so you could squeeze out of a size smaller than yours, but it's basically counted as difficult terrain, and it's going to be using up your action.
Okay. Hypothetically speaking, hold on. Okay, never mind. Let's rewind that then. Pretend I didn't say anything. Yeah, that's all right. I think that's all I got with this. I'm probably going to just tell Isopod and Sword to get out of here. Just go. And I'll make my way out next once I make the hole bigger.
Okay.
That'll be my turn.
All right. Isopod, are you heading out the hole that was created?
I guess I have to.
Alright.
You can like pass Sword up through it since they can climb through it, and you'll have to Misty Step to fit through comfortably.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can Misty Step still. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll send Sword through first, and then I'll Misty Step to the other side.
Okay.
That I swear, I promise I can see.
Oh, you could definitely see. And guess what?
Yep.
It's on top of a roof, so that'll make it easy for you.
Yay!
Boom.
And as soon
Outside.
as he's out, he's like, "Oh, thank goodness, I can finally breathe." Claustrophobic in there.
He says, I don't like tight spaces.
The only tight space I want to be in is in Mantis's embrace. As we hug.
Good save. Good save.
She's an iron grip. She's a very strong woman.
But with that being said, that only uses your bonus action. You still have a main action. You won't be able to cast any leveled spells, but you can use cantrips.
Ooh, hold on. Would acid splash like affect the metal? You think?
Normally, it only ends up targeting creatures. However, I honestly hate that rule, and I accept it targeting any spot.
Yes.
Drip
Acid splash on the metal time. Let's go.
We're talking about somebody who literally projectile vomits acid at people without actually projectile vomiting.
So, if you would, you can end up using your cantrip to acid splash on the iron bars right here.
I'm doing that.
Alrighty. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
DC 14. I don't think he can save a 14.
It's metal.
Oh, right. Attack roll.
Yeah.
It's for acid. It just automatically rolled.
Cool.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So it is now wide enough for you to be able to get through when it comes back around to your turn.
Okay.
You still have some movement if you want, Isopod.
I'm gonna back away from the grate a little bit.
Okay.
I think Glimmer would yell up, "Just take Sword and go."
Okay, I guess I'm gonna start flying then with Sword.
No, just start flying. Leave Sword there. Just go.
all
say
this
with Sword.
All this work. All this work. I don't need him. Right, let's go ahead and put Sword on you. There we go. And then I will select you both. Where do you want to go? Back towards the rebel camp? Or
yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and move out of combat area entirely.
He'd be like, I don't exist anymore, I promise.
Yep. So you are officially out.
Thank God that this guy's not going to be back for more time than it would take for us to leave.
Yep. Frosted Pine.
Do I notice a spot flying off?
Yes. You can see Isopod with sword flying away.
Right, so going to. Actually, how do you use the rulers in this?
It's at the very bottom right. You can click on it, and then you can choose between radius and then line and stuff like that. You can click on it, so you do a single click, and then you can end up stretching it from where it is that you clicked.
Ah, there we go.
And then right click to get rid of it, or left click in order to hold it in place.
I love just to fill the void. I love the the little back and forth command match they had with each other.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, go to sleep. No, you grovel. No, you
Bonk. Misses 48 times. Damn it.
Yeah, so Frostbine's just going to fly over here and use her Frost Breath on the human soldier with the crossbow.
Yep, the one who hit you earlier.
Yep.
Oh, that's just instant death. If they don't die right away, they'll freeze to death.
Are you flying down to be able to get just within reach?
Yeah, I'm just letting. There we go.
Alright. It's what's the length? Is it 30 feet?
15-foot cone.
15? Okay.
Yep.
There you go. You are 15 foot in the air. Brings this one with you. There you go. All right. And then he needs to make a roll on his end. That'll be a dexterity. They pass. So they'll take half of the damage that you roll.
All right, I rolled a 24.
Okay, so he's going to be taking 12. All right, this guy, he's a basic guard. He's a very basic guard. So even with that, you notice that he's down.
Yep, and with that, I'm going to start flying. Start flying off to the. I'm going to start flying off to the northeast, sort of in this direction.
Yep, you'll need to wait until your turn again to be able to move, because
Alright.
that used up your action.
Okay.
All right, Silver Dragon, seeing that the target is basically out at this point, he is going to disengage. And move up here. And that is going to end up being his turn. He is still gone. His sword is out. Let me go ahead and because they're out too. He's not coming back in time. It is going to be this guy's turn. He is going to try and keep up. This guy. He is going to move over here. He does not have line of sight, cannot shoot. This guy is going to run up here as well. This soldier, it does not matter where they go. Well, actually, no, it does. Because you're still in the building. 6. He's going to look at his friend and ask him why he's still standing there before he turns back to the stairs. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He is also going to turn and be like, hey, why is this guy just standing there? It's like he ended up forgetting all of his existence for the last 30 seconds. And he turns back to the stairs. This guy is going to move closer over to you. You are too high to be able to reach. This guy is going to move closer to you. Hang on. Go back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This guy is dead. I need to remove him. Let's see. He's after the 2. He's the last one to turn order. There we go. Glimmer, it is back up to you. You have 2
Excellent.
people who are down at the stairs right next to you.
Glimmer is going to. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're a little quiet, but otherwise I hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that. Give me one moment. Some minor technical difficulties. Is this better?
Yep, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. Yeah, I was still trying to get used to the new mic. That's all. I think. Are they within threaten range?
They, I think, are just outside of range.
Oh.
I gotta actually zoom in to look. There we go.
Okay. I think.
They are within your halberd range if you want.
I'm going
Or
to.
no, they're just out because that would be 10 feet and that's 13 feet. So never mind.
Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna go through just jump and go outside and fly off in a different direction altogether from the rest. Potentially. How do you ping in this?
Near your character screen, you'll end up seeing a gesture tool. You can click on that and you can click.
Gesture tool.
Yeah.
Tool.
It's
don't know.
next to your name.
I don't see anything there.
Can you? No, that doesn't work. Because I have
Okay.
2 things.
I'm gonna go northwest, if that makes more sense, actually.
Press the T button, and then you should be able to click somewhere.
There, in that direction from here.
Okay.
Yeah, mostly because I think Glimmer would instinctively know splitting off to cause as much confusion as to which way we went is a good idea. So she's gonna go up and fly away.
Okay, that's about where you can get. You can dash if you like at this point. Give you an extra 30 feet.
Absolutely gonna dash.
All right. You'll be right at the edge of this tower. Boom. But at this point, you are off the board. You are off the map. So you are officially out. Frosted Pine, that is you. Your party is officially out of here.
Yeah, so I'm just going to do my best to disengage from combat and just fly off slightly northeast, going this direction.
Okay.
Let me grab that.
Right there.
Right here?
Yep.
Yeah, let me grab.
Is there any immediate guards in the area? No, and they are not going to be able to keep up with you, so at this point you are basically free, so you don't have to worry too much about anything. That will end combat. And I'm assuming everybody's taking their own direction towards the rebel camp?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Mhm.
Rebel camp is this way. Lots of pings for you guys. Make it easy for you guys to find.
Yep, squiggling my way over.
Do y'all want to meet up at the campsite that y'all originally had, or would you like to end
think-
up
I
meeting
think
somewhere else?
meeting slightly away from it would be a smart point to make. Just so they don't immediately track us back to there if they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate that I keep getting thrown across the map.
What? Are you doing anything to do that?
No, it just does it when I'm trying to move. Like my character.
That's really weird.
It's because I have such horrible internet, I think.
It might be. I will move your character over there, and if you're still selected on your character, you should be able to click your character icon and jump straight to it after I put you down.
Just let me know when you put me down so I can switch over through poking you.
Let's disable flying. There you go. And
Aha.
then I will move. There we go. Now you and Sword are no longer conjoint twins. Congratulations.
I would hope not.
That'd be really bizarre, wouldn't it?
And then shall I go ahead and move Glimmer over there as well?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's go and disable flying. Put you in here. Move you guys like this. And bam. Everybody is officially back. Face everybody actually toward each other, so that way it looks proper. There we are. Alright, y'all have all officially ended up making it back to the rebels camp. Sword kind of, stretches a small little bit before stepping off and back onto the ground. Right, that was more than I ended up expecting, for sure.
Well,
Nobody got hurt, did they?
not by my doing.
I'm
No,
sure
I
the
don't-
guy who disappeared will be fine.
I really hope so.
None of us are. None of us
Yeah,
seem to be hurt.
I at one point got very angry with one of my siblings. She was fine when she came back from wherever she went. It's
She just-
fine.
She
She'll
just
be
had
fine.
this. She had this long look in her eyes and mentioned something about the forest and people in the trees.
I don't think I really want to know any more than that, honestly. Please never use that on me.
First of all, I
Don't
just
come
going
at me and
to
I won't
stare
touch you.
with a what in the world is he talking about sort of stare.
Sword will kind of look at all of you. Well, thank you for getting me back out. Granted, you handed me over, but there really was no choice. But thank you for getting me
Yeah.
back out.
I think now is a great time to explain what exactly is it that makes what we think you might have seen such a big deal. So we heard you might have seen something.
I did, yes. I'm not entirely certain what it was. I barely was able to catch a glimpse of it, and it was in the dark, but I saw what looked to be a dragon, but it didn't look like any dragon I'd ever seen.
What
Any
did it look
details?
like?
Um,
Guys, we should all ask our questions individually. You go first. Supply.
What did you say?
He said, well, Glimmer, she, ended up saying isopod. You go first.
Well, what did the dragon look like?
It was dark, but they were sleek. I could somehow see them extremely well, even though it was dark down there. I think it's because they were rather bright in coloration. It didn't look right though, if that makes sense. It was all like I don't know how to explain it really. If you like Isopod, you are the one who knows sword the best. You may roll an insight check.
I am going to do that. Would that be with advantage or just flat?
I'll make it flat, and the only reason why you get to roll is because you know sword. Nobody else is gonna be able to kind of get to roll this.
Alright. 19!
19. You, as far as you can end up guessing, whatever it was that was down there, by the definition of a bit more sleek and able to see it even though it was in the dark, you're guessing that she might be talking about a rain wing.
A rain? Oh yeah, they are pretty sleek.
Wait.
I kind of assumed ceiling, honestly. Because they glow. Okay. So, did this dragon by chance look like its colors were shifting?
Yeah, almost like paint was thrown on them or something.
Rainwing.
Rainwing?
It might be, but
Sounds like you're in a week.
they were just down. I wasn't meant to go down there, but I ended up hearing something. And as the general, I wanted to make sure that the emperor was going to be safe. I went down there and I saw whatever dragon that was down there. It doesn't look like any of ours. I'd never seen it before, so I didn't even know if what I saw was what I saw. Almost not even 2 seconds later, a bag ended up going over my head and I was knocked unconscious. Next thing I knew, I was on a ship being thrown overboard.
That doesn't bode well.
They have a rainwing. Oh no.
And that might be where the magic is coming from in this kingdom.
Maybe. But
Interesting that it was bright, though. Don't you guys think? Because don't they get really not colorful when they're being held captive or something? I assume it was being held captive, or they, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I could tell, it was asleep or something. It didn't look like it was awake, when I saw it at least. And it's roughly around this time again that you end up hearing, just way off in the background, that music kind of playing again, the kind of song just ever so faintly in the background, as if you're hearing it through a wall.
Snapped its head there toward it.
I think Glimmer is going to immediately just reflexively cast detect magic when that happens, to see if there's like anything immediately noticeable about anything about this.
You do notice that it is definitely magical in nature. Whatever it is that's kind of pinging and kind of hitting, it's chaotic by nature. Normally with detect magic, you can end up detecting what type of magic it is. This is fluctuating every single type of magic spell that there is, different enchantments and evocation, and all of this. Like it's all of them. It's none of them all at once, and none at the same time. But you do, I will give you this much, get a very vague sense of direction of where it's coming from. It is coming from underground, not immediately underneath all of you, but on this island. And as far as you could tell, it's coming from the northwest.
Yeah. Glimmer's just gonna hold her head for a minute. Just kind of confused before taking another moment to cough up a couple lungfuls of smoke. Guys, I think this is... Don't ask me how I know, but I feel like this is coming from the northwest and underground.
I feel like we should probably investigate. It's a really weird timing that whenever we talk about this more in depth, the whole shenanigans, that starts playing. And last time it kind of freaked me out.
Is that because of the fact that you heard someone calling for help
Yes.
amongst it?
Well,
Crosspoint's just going to sit and think for a moment, then just ask, in what direction is the palace where the emperor is? From
Sword,
here.
yeah, Sword kind of nods a little bit. Roughly about northwest. It's farther inland, farther away from the ocean.
And Glimmer, in what direction did you say you sense it coming from?
Northwest, underground. I don't know how to feel about what I felt just now. But whatever that is terribly, terribly warped magic.
Before
I
anything,
don't know magic very well, but I don't know magic very well, but I do know it's not supposed to be like that.
Sabaya is just going to growl out loudly. We are going to get Icebot's wife, and we are going to get that dragon. And we're going to get that ring.
well,
Whatever is happening, whatever magic is causing that music, it's obvious that's a cry for help.
Guys.
this is the one that ended up helping you out. It has very light blue scales.
I suppose just kind of pointing at the other dragon that just showed up out of nowhere.
Is going to reflexively grab her halberd and like have it ready to be pulled off her back as she turns around like, oh, who are you? Now keep in mind, Glimmer didn't actually ever see this dragon.
I'm pretty sure Icepod didn't either.
Yeah.
That's the one that helped out with the distraction.
Alright. And who are you?
Are you asking the dragon or the other one?
Well, both, actually, just in the general direction of the two.
The dragon will answer first. As far as you could tell, it's kind of heard of the more general customs of your land and whatnot. My name is it's Joy. And then the other one kind of steps up a little bit. As for me, oh, why am I having a brain fart? Ugh, I need to go back to my docs. Kill me.
Icepod kind of mutters under his breath. Joy sounds like a kind of ironic name. He doesn't look or sound very joyful.
And the writer steps up and my name is Poison.
I spot again, mutters under his breath. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, that one tracks. Not the other one, but that one tracks.
You humans have really weird names here.
Hey, don't be rude.
Do you mind if we take a break for
Oh, you heard me?
a bit?
Yeah, we were just about to hit the halfway point.
Okay.
Story time.
We will take our break and we will end up hitting story time.
It's our turn.
For the players who are going to be listening to the story time, let's go ahead and just set everyone to the campfire. Summon players.
I'm gonna be muted for a bit while I get a small snack.
No worries.
Yeah, same.
We'll set this to middle of the night. Bam. All right. And with that, we have a new story for everybody. This one is from the perspective of Glimmer. On a morning of the day of the Nightwing Kingdom's volcano erupting, everything at first was fairly peaceful. Just your average, everyday, horrific, choking clouds of sulfur and thick, choking black smoke kind of morning. Nightrunner, Glimmer's mother, had been out for a while at this point, having been sent to deliver messages as she was one of the fastest in the entirety of the Nightwing Kingdom. In such a manner, she would be given some of the most delicate and damning information that could completely destroy the entirety of the Nightwing tribe. Currently, it had been 2 days since she had returned home from the last delivery that she was given, leaving Glimmer with her father to suffer through his more amiable side. Suddenly, however, the volcano began to shake underneath their feet. But wasn't it not supposed to go off for another couple of years or so? Nightrunner quickly began flying in, having only just gotten back into the Nightwing Kingdom. She looked around, screaming out at the top of her lungs, Glimmer! Glimmer, are you here? She looked around their spot that they ended up calling a home. Both her husband, Crescent, who was supposed to be looking after their daughter, and Glimmer herself wasn't there. Panic shot through her as she quickly began searching their home. Meanwhile, Glimmer was terrified. She had been kept with the rest of the Nightwing dragonettes the entire night before, left there by her father so he can go off and do whatever it is that he ended up doing for the Queen. Her mother wasn't supposed to exactly find out, not that Glimmer knew. Her lungs were full of volcanic smog as she stumbled down a tunnel leading to fresh air, coughing and wheezing as she went. Crescent, on the other claw, was trying to find his way up from the dungeons through the chaos. This was a complete mess. First, his wife left on a job, and now this was happening? What about their daughter? How would he take care of that during an eruption? She would probably be dead right now if the eruption worsened. And from the sound of things, it was absolutely getting bad. Nightrunner continued to search, having been unable to find her at home where her father was supposed to have been keeping an eye on her, given that her cough was continuing to worsen. She rushed off at top speed to begin searching some of the other places that she knew Glimmer liked to be at. Speed is what she was good at, what she was known for. It had to be enough now. It just had to be. It was at this point that Nightrunner noticed that there were unfamiliar dragonettes helping others to the cave. If Glimmer was there, then good. But if not, then she couldn't stop searching. Not with the one thing that gave her life meaning, her own daughter. She couldn't stop until she knew for a fact that her daughter was safe. Glimmer finally managed to stumble her way outside, gasping and coughing, just in time too, as the roof of the tunnel she had just left ended up collapsing, startling her into running down the path in front of her. She was close to a few different dragons, but none seemed particularly interested in giving her any direction other than forward. Not that most of them even cared in the first place, making sure that they were ahead of her at all times to save their own scales and not caring about any other dragon but themselves. Deeper inside of the volcano, Crescent finally gave up on finding her as yet another path outside collapsed nearby. He couldn't risk his own life, too, especially not for something as frail as a dragonette in a volcano that was already good as dead with a cough like hers. He pivoted and ran down another tunnel, knowing exactly where to go. The moment he got outside and noticed the other tribe of dragons, however, he snarled and jumped over them, gliding down towards where the portal was. Most of the dragons at this point were screaming, "For Queen Glory!" as they were leaving the volcano to go into the Rainwings forest. There was a small discussion currently happening just a short distance away between the Nightwing Morrowseer and the Dragonettes of Destiny, or so he believed they were. Some were just off in the distance, barely audible to any dragons at the cave's entrance, and rather easily missable if one wasn't paying attention, could be heard, "Glimmer! Glimmer, where are you?" Glimmer heard her mother and called out for her. "Mom! Mom! Mom, I'm here!" Although over the commotion, even she had no idea what she was actually screaming out. Crescent, however, only paused to look back to see Glimmer a few dozen feet away, and through the smoke, he realized Glimmer could see him. A loud cracking sound and a violent tremor brought him to turn away and go into the cave instead, leaving Glimmer to fend for herself. It wasn't his responsibility to take care of her from the beginning. He thought he'd made that clear to Nightrunner more than enough. And now he was finally rid of both of them, hopefully. Nightrunner, barely hearing her daughter, turned and saw Glimmer. Relief quickly shot through her. At top speed, she began flying, but she just barely, for the first time in her life, wasn't fast enough. As the volcano began its eruption, mere feet away from reaching her daughter. A loud explosion sent some magma up to hit her, and she screamed out in agony and went spiraling into the ground in front of her daughter. The pain was unbearable. The feeling was like having fire in a physical form being pressed as hard as possible into her scales and her wings. She knew there was no saving herself at this point. She knew there was only gonna be just enough time to maybe say a few words before the lava covering her body would finish her off. The crash landing startled the poor dragonette, who cried out in pain as a droplet of the now lava hit one of her talons. Glimmer stared at her mother in disbelief, though realizing quickly that, yes, it was actually her, and she was watching her own mother die. "Mom, Mom, please move. You're gonna..." She knew what would be happening, really. Lava would kill a dragon, and there was far too much on Nightrunner for her survival. The ground rumbled, the sky blackened with ash, and lava began spewing out from the cracks in the walls near them. They'd have literal seconds before they were both engulfed in a river of the stuff. This was unfair. She knew her father didn't care about her, nor the other dragons or dragonettes. But not Nightrunner, not her own mother. Why did the world have to take her of all people? "Mom, please. Please get up, please." Her mother contained her scream of pain to herself. There wasn't time. She knew she would die, and die soon. She had too much to say to Glimmer to let the pain get to her. Too much to say and not enough time to say it all. She had to pick her words to get her daughter out of here, to leave her and keep her alive now and for the rest of her days. She had to give her life some form of meaning, just like her daughter's life gave her own meaning. "Glimmer, you have to go on without me. You have to live. Find the thing that gives your life meaning. Find it like I found mine in you. Make the world a better place. Live. Live and know that whatever it is that you choose, I love you, and I'll be proud of the dragon that you've become. Go! The lava was already rising up. Mere moments at this point from consuming Night Runner. Any last second words would have to be now, before it swallowed up Glimmer along with any dragons that remained. I love you, Mom. She quickly touched her mother's cheek before tearing up, stumbling back to avoid the lava, and as another tremor hit, a burst of magma erupted from the wall nearby, dropping straight onto Night Runner as Glimmer watched. She turned and ran. The sounds, the screaming, it was too much to bear. She would never forget this moment. On the other side of the cave, reaching the Rain Wings forest, she saw all the other Night Wings. But out of everyone, she saw him, Crescent, her father. The grief, the sorrow, the anger in her heart. She would never hold it. She would forever hold it against him and never forgive him for leaving her. But not even just her. He left her mother. The one thing that he should have cared about more than anything else. That dragon wasn't her father anymore. Not that he was much of one to begin with, but from now on, he would be. She didn't even know the word. But she wanted as little to do with him as possible. Or maybe she didn't. Maybe she wanted to make him feel what her mother felt. She didn't know. She had too many emotions to sort through. Mom. Mom, I'll make sure I become a dragon you can be proud of. I'll become someone worthy of what you believed that I could be. And that ends today's break prompt from the point of view of Glimmer.
Well, I'm back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I don't know how much you ended up getting to hear.
All of it.
Ah, yes. All right.
Very
Go
good.
summon players back to this board. There we go. Did it? Yeah, put the fog back on. Let's get the fog back off. Let's get our. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Boom. And then back to the music. So we have a little bit of background. Perfect. There we go. All right.
Oh, what did everybody else think? Who's here?
This tracks for him as far as I know.
Crescent? Yeah.
Yeah,
What did you think of the story?
it was absolutely devastating. I want her more trauma.
Yeah, this is interesting tidbit for you. The reason that Glimmer doesn't actually have that accent anymore to begin with is because she just didn't want to talk like that anymore.
It's also DM Liberty is what we call it.
Indeed. Yeah, fun fact for you, the audiobook accents are actually non-canon.
Yeah, I have a hard time doing female voices, so you'll notice a lot of my female voices are going to be the same because they're the only ones that even remotely get to female.
That's fair.
So a lot of the female voices are just going to be repeats, just a forewarning. Whenever we end up
Oh,
getting
don't
to some more of
Seriously,
the
it
male
can't get any
characters,
better.
I'll do better.
What were you saying, Aaron?
It's just, I was just like, I just went, seriously, it can't do any better.
That's
If
great.
Isopod were to ever find out about this, like, within the confines of the campaign, or any future campaigns where they're both in, oh, he may not be the type to really show it very much, except for with Mantis, but he would probably have a freaking aneurysm and be like, I think I might know a guy to deal with that problem there. Yeah, I just might. You know?
I know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, even outside of this
There's
campaign.
another guy.
God. Even outside of this campaign, Glimmer has told nobody about this.
But back into the moment here. They just introduced themselves. Sword kind of looks at you, Isopod. We can go, but before we do, I need to make sure that I end up getting my own dragon back.
Isopod's just quiet.
What do you mean?
Well, I was the general. I have my own dragon. I'm assuming that they likely ended up taking mine and either ended up chucking it over into the ocean, or they ended up have it locked down somewhere. We need to end up finding it.
Um, if they chucked it into the ocean, and they sent you on a boat to your death, he just trails off and he just is like, maybe I shouldn't make her think about that.
That's you do just to remind you guys, you were told specifically her dragon is dead. They killed her dragon.
Yeah, Isopod does not want to just straight up tell her. He kind of wants to give her breadcrumbs so that she figures it out herself.
I would, I think honestly Glimmer would be straight up about it though. That's the thing.
Also, I don't think Isopod was really paying attention, so he just it kind of went one ear out in one ear out the other with him.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I may have heard that your dragon was
Yeah, gonna just give it a moment. So I'm still not quite sure how deep the bonds between humans and dragons here go, but just how important was your dragon to you?
My dragon is amazingly important to me. I practically grew up alongside that thing.
Yes, well, it would be best for you to take a seat then, my friend. Frostpine would just sort of bring her tail around and use it to and just sort of sweep out Sword's feet so that she ends up sitting on Frostpine's tail.
Just
Well, Isopod just kind of
Yes.
glares at her for that, like, you did not have to do that to her. You could have just let her sit down on her own.
only I get to do that to her. She's mine.
Now,
Like, I will end you if
you
you
see
mess with her
what
too
we
much. Sorry.
now you see from what we've been told, your dragon is you will not be able to reunite. Your dragon is dead. I'm sorry to tell you.
You see a few tears kind of well up in her eyes as she shakes her head. And while she didn't necessarily fight you at first and was sitting down halfway because you forced her, but halfway because as soon as you started, she kind of started to get the idea. She quickly ends up kind of getting up and shakes her head, forcing the tears away as she ends up saying, No, 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 no. No, that's not the general protocol. That you do for any dragons. You would normally imprison them in order to try and re-educate them, because it's not easy to get these dragons. And
Isopod kind of he doesn't really cut in, but while she's talking, he like presses his head gently against her, trying to comfort her.
Glimmer has just gone completely like distant-eyed about this situation.
Go ahead and roll just a general charisma check.
Oh no, I don't have good charisma. Oh yeah, I do. What's wrong
Yeah,
with me? I'm stupid. That's what.
yeah,
You don't have good
that's your whole
charisma.
thing as a spellcaster. You have good charisma.
I don't have good charisma. It's just a 17.
It's just a 17. That's all.
Anyways, I
I
rolled
don't
an
have good
11.
charisma. Meanwhile,
11.
Anna pulling an absolutely wonderful wife.
I was more going for a high low number, and so you beat it. So you got the high number. Okay. So you see she kind of somewhat leans into your comforting kind of head press, and she somewhat hugs your head and kind of puts her arm up around your neck a little bit, kind of holding on. You feel a couple of tears kind of dropping on top of your head. At least let us go to the graveyard before we leave.
Of course. And I do promise you that uh, among the multiple things that we are going to do while we are in this land, I will ensure that you get closure that you need. She's sort of hinting at Sword being able to take any revenge that she may want or need for her dragon.
Isopod's kind of grumbling. While we are on this island, I will take an oath right now to be your claws, be your wings, be your fangs. I will protect you, and I will be there as much as I possibly can. This death. He's growling out that last part specifically. It needs to stop.
Normally, no. As you hear a bit of a sad laugh out of her. Normally, these kind of oaths, we would end up taking one of the spikes, the quills, as she pulls out her dragon's quill in her hand, and we would keep it. And to show our side of the oath to our dragons, we would end up spilling a little bit of our blood using their quill that we had. I don't think yours comes off quite as easily as theirs. And so she'll end up using her old dragon's quill, her old dagger that she has from him still, and she will kind of slice open her hand to spill a small bit of blood. I am yours, and you are mine, and together we will end up killing the Emperor for what he's done. He would have been the only one to be able to end up calling an order like this.
Isopod
I'm
went
just
a
going to
little bit
give.
quiet at the sight of the blood, but he's also just He's also thinking a lot, like, if we get through this and everyone is alive, me and Mantis will take care of her. We will keep her safe.
She will become my child.
She's basically my dragonette now.
But
No, we had
Joy.
sword for
Yeah.
insert amount of time here. But if anything were to happen to her, I would kill everyone in this land and myself.
I've known her for a day now.
Joy will kind of bow his head a small little bit. I will help take you all to the graveyard. I'm unsure where her dragon was buried, but you should be able to search for it at the very least over there. I would.
Glimmer's gonna
That
speak
would
up for the
be
first
very
time in a
much
while.
appreciated.
I suggest we go during the night, however. I would take some time if I were all of you, and rest for now.
Glimmer's gonna speak up for the first time in a while. Yeah. Yeah, let's get some rest.
Isopod being Isopod, he's like, rest? What's that?
I don't know what that means. I have too many sugar dreams.
Glimmer's just gonna slowly go over here and just kind of sit down sadly over here.
Okay.
Hmm.
Sword's
Frostbite.
not leaving Isopod's side, by the way.
Frostbite is just going to edge on Icepod's wings, giving him an approving look, like as if it's just silently, saying that she approves of him being so willing to take on the position as Sword's dragon, and
Sword
then
has
just
kind
sort
of
of
a Sword has not Sword, oh my gosh. Isopod has kind of a look to him like, well, yeah. I've known her for like 3 weeks, and I would kill everyone in this room and myself if I had to.
and then Frostbite is just going to walk away over to one of the sleeping bags and take I'll get her name and take a
Elm, or yours
take-
is Moss.
yeah. Sorry, I was just trying to move things.
Yeah.
It's like why is it being so? Just take Moss out of her bag, just checking the magical human over.
Mm-hmm. So, are you guys gonna kind of wait until night rolls around to be able to head over to the graveyard?
Yeah, assuming
Yeah.
that we're gonna get some food beforehand and.
Yeah, there's still food that's been provided for you inside of that box that's at your campsite.
Isopod being like, now does it have to be fixed up to be better though?
Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Glimmer has been very clearly holding back tears for a little while now.
Yep.
Isopod's just kind of glancing over, and he's like, she's been really quiet, uncharacteristically quiet, even for her. And so he's like, maybe someone should talk to her. He's gonna go over and be like, hey, Glimmer, are you okay? You're more quiet than you usually are, and you're pretty quiet a lot.
Glimmer is just going to slowly nod and just pretend like it's fine.
Can I make an insight check?
I'm gonna roll for deception.
Mm.
Hotspot's also going to come over, make an insight check as well.
Hello?
Yes, you can roll your insight.
Just let me know
I got a
Okay.
whenever.
16.
Lagging violently. Oh, I got an 18. And then I accidentally rolled again.
I also got an 18.
I
What do we
always
do?
I always leave these things up to the players. You can end up
I-
choosing any information to sort of give or not.
I would like to, because it is meet to beat rules in D&D. I would like to give you some information, but not really knowing that much about Glimmer altogether, you probably don't get that much to begin with.
Yeah, just basically, oh, she's definitely not okay.
Isopod very much would realize this sort of feeling of loss is something that she's gone through before.
Hmm.
And it's very painful. That's all.
He's not really gonna say anything, but he gently presses a wing against her to try to tell her, hey, it's okay if you're not okay. I'm not okay right now either. And you're very strong for getting as far as you have in your life. And then he just kind of gets up and walks over to figure out if the food needs to be better.
Glimmer's just going to give like a little half smile, and then I think she's going to announce to everybody, I need to be alone for a little bit, but I'll be back. She's just gonna kind of go sit up here for a little while.
I don't know why, but I was expecting you to say, I'm pregnant.
You know, weirdly enough, no. I'm actually gonna put her up here, so she'll be a little bit further away.
Let me know when you
Like,
guys
that would be
are.
pretty suspicious.
Let me know when you guys are ready, and I'll bring you over to the next board.
Yeah.
I'm ready whenever.
Yeah. Glimmer's not
Same.
going to be eating, by the way.
Well, okay, in that case, Isopod is gonna try to make sure there's a portion that is left for her for when she is able to eat.
Yep,
That's
that's
right.
fair.
We're ready to go, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will first drag your characters here, and then I will drag you guys here.
Yay.
You got it. So yoinkage.
Ah! Disappearing!
Yep.
Oh my gosh, we had banishment used on us.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Okay.
Yep.
The one and only time I'll be okay with you doing that on the stream.
I try to find a good opportunity to put it in during the combat when the banishment was used on the one character, but I never had an opportunity to just use it right in.
Okay,
Fair
I'm
enough.
summoning you guys to the board.
Hurrah.
I summon a horde of nerds! I'm missing community content. Oh no! Anyway, I'm just gonna
No.
auto-download it. Download all.
You guys are right here whenever you eventually get here.
Yep. Welcome to the raveyard. I mean, graveyard.
Yeah. Well, there's enough lights, I suppose it could count.
I mean, yeah.
Did they teach you though?
Bunch of dragon human skeletons come out of the ground, start having a rave.
Oh no.
Yes.
But
Do
welcome
harvest.
to the graveyard.
Rave Lord Nito.
You can end up seeing that there is more like people here, but they're not important. They're not gonna kind of really say or notice any of you guys. They're also a bit of a distance out. They're not on the active board for where you can move around and stuff. So don't worry too much about all that. But otherwise, feel free to move around. Obviously, you need to find where it is that her dragon has been buried at this point.
Glim gonna go over here. And this specific thing here is of interest. What is this?
Yep.
Frostbite is going to go ahead and ask.
Mhm.
Well, first, what should I do? Do I have to roll something to see if I can read the tombstones at all? Or is it
Yes.
The
just
tombstone.
You do need to end up making a roll, as it does not appear that anything written over here is in the dragon tongue. This appears to be, as far as you can tell, the language that is native for over here. While most of them do seem to know the dragon tongue, it is not the automatic, natural spoken language.
The question I have is then, is this something that Glimmer can read?
No.
Oh.
so
She's gonna announce to everybody, guys, I can't read this.
Frostbite is just going to frown and look towards Sword. Would you mind showing us what we should look out for when it comes to your dragon's name?
Yes.
Since none of us recognize this language.
Yes. This is where all of the old heroes were buried, more or less, in this section of the graveyard. Just ahead of us, there are two sections, kind of for the more common soldiers, and then just off up to our left is where most of the dragons are buried, the slightly bit of larger grounds. There are plenty of old heroes here who have done fantastic and phenomenal work. Your friend over there, Glimmer, she is currently standing in front of one of the old king's graveyard stones.
I see. And how would you write down your dragon's name?
She will kind of pull out a piece of paper and will look at you, look at the small piece of paper, look at the big dragon, and write a little bit larger than normal. And will end up writing down her dragon's name as she kind of hands it off. It is very interesting as you end up getting the paper, and she ends up saying, "My dragon's name was Effervescence. It's not a normal dragon name. Normally, we name dragons based off of emotions, while us humans usually end up getting names of objects. I felt Effervescence. It fit him well."
Oh, I will make sure to keep an eye out.
It
And
kind of
is
sounded
the
like a Nightwing name, doesn't it?
Vaguely.
I feel as if it sounds more like a rain name.
Yeah, could
Somewhere
be
in
the
the
kid
middle.
of two. Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about Paria. I've never really been there before, but I have met several Nightwings.
Yeah,
Mm.
few of us have made our way over there. So.
I can tell you a little bit about some of this as we run around as your dragon flies everywhere.
Right?
Yeah,
You just don't know nothing.
you mind
Like,
not causing any trouble for like 5 minutes?
like there's a graveyard! This is a graveyard!
Kind of disrespectful to fly over a graveyard, you know.
No, you do walk on the outset!
um, but I can give you a small bit of history as we walk through here, maybe help you understand the land a little bit more.
Well, first off, what is this land even called? We never got that.
Let me actually pull up the proper name. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? That is the break prompt. That is not my document.
She's like, let me think about that real quick. It's been a while. I have a little bit of brain damage from almost dying.
um, it's the Darvian land. We're known as the Darvian Empire out here.
Interesting. Well, tell us whatever you need to tell us.
And as y'all walk, she will kind of just begin to talk. Feel free to point out anything. I'll end up giving you a little bit of lore and history behind it as everybody's walking. Otherwise, I will point out only the big points themselves.
I
Yeah.
will mention this area looks a little messy. Is that normal?
That a long time ago, that spot specifically was where the old gravekeeper ended up using to kind of live and whatnot, but it's been in disrepair as of recent, as he lives closer to where the dragons are buried now. So at this point, this is more of a sort of storage area. Maybe a bit of extra firewood, extra candelabras, and the like. Most people consider this place haunted.
Wait, haunted?
Huh?
Excuse me?
Well,
Are there actually ghosts here? Please say
Many
no.
my people have made up quite a few stories of hauntings.
many people say that the crystals that are glowing all around you are some of the souls trapped in them.
Yeah.
I saw kind of
Glimmer's
shudders like, ugh, I
Glimmer's
Like
don't
gonna
like that.
that one right there, for
Glimmer's
instance, or the one in that bush, or the one right there.
Uh,
Glimmer's gonna glance at the little crystal wrapped up in her around her one hand palm
Mhm.
thing. Interesting. It's like it's like layered cloth wrapped around it, just to hold specifically, by the way, anybody who paid attention to Glimmer would notice there is a very burnt looking section around one of her claws. And it's specifically around that hand that she's got this wrapping with this crystal in it. A very small crystal. Well, I suppose that's not entirely impossible, I guess.
where, where are the dragons buried usually? Around here, right?
Uh,
He's kind of creeped out by the idea of ghosts. Like, I don't
uh,
like it.
these are the more legendary and famous warriors and kings of old in this spot here. Just to our right, the smaller little grave sites are the common warriors, and then um, behind you, but ahead of us, is that larger section. That's where all the dragons are typically buried.
Right,
What's that
right
large?
here.
A bit farther out, but yes,
What's
past
this large
the
building down here?
flames. The one just over here to our right here.
Yeah. What's that building?
That is well, that is where I ended up going in. Uh, which how best to explain it? It's where we worship our gods, specifically our god of death.
Huh.
Um,
It's strange to think that think that there's any gods being worshipped. I can't recall there being any beings that are seen as gods in Pyria or Pantala once mother was finally able to take me there to visit.
Yeah,
To
I remember y'all mentioning something about that. Y'all don't have gods.
No. No.
The closest we have in Pentala is really a legend. But she wasn't a god or anything. She was the shared ancestor of all hivewings.
Mm.
So she's also my ancestor. Her name is Clearsight,
I see.
or was. She's long gone by
Very,
now.
very gifted at seeing the future. Similar
Yeah,
to a
the
friend of mine, actually.
hmm?
We should
I'll tell you about that later, but we
we
should
should
move.
yeah, we should keep moving. As she kind of goes a little off of the beaten path at this point, getting ready to kind of head towards this break in the fence to get over to where she's believes her
Glimmer
dragon
kinda
should probably be buried.
So I do
Glimmer
have
gonna
a question that I'm not sure you'll be able to answer. Um, how exactly did the relationship between Iron Wings and humans start?
Um, to my knowledge, it started uh, a while ago. It wasn't, at least the stories that I've heard, it wasn't exactly easy at first. There was very little trust, but we ended up sailing over here from another island. Something or other. I'm not much of a history buff, but there was something about fire and flames, some form of destruction of our people and our kingdom from another land.
the scorching?
I think I heard something about it being called that, but we ended up escaping from that area, in which we ended up coming alongside a small group, a small tribe, or less, of some dragons. Uh, they weren't they weren't like they are now, but after a while, we kind of grew close and began to rely on one another. The sheer devotion that they ended up feeling towards us, and us who get close to them in return, kind of built it up the way it is now.
Well,
How does that work? Like, do you are you the first thing they see when they come out when they hatch?
Um, sort of. We we are the ones, because it's always from hatching that it starts, and we spend quite literally every single moment of our lives together. There is almost nothing that ends up separating us from the time that they're little dragonettes until eventually they grow up and they end up becoming our companions, our best friends, our
certainly they outlive you.
brothers or sisters. They do. We have to, as we get older, eventually try and bring someone else into the mix to kind of help them whenever we pass. Though sometimes it proves impossible, and the only thing we can do is try and get some form of mating before they follow shortly suit, devastated that their connection to us is gone.
Mm.
The way you speak about dragons is off-putting to people like us, really. To me at least, it sounds different. That's all.
Yes. I suppose it would. Your land, whenever I went there, was massively different in my own eyes as well, and it was strange. Don't get us wrong, we do love our dragons more than anything else. Most, not all, I suppose I should say, but most of us would very happily end up giving our own lives in order to save our dragons. We love them. Me and Effervescence certainly loved each other greatly. I can only potentially guess and assume that they ended up putting up so much of a fight that it was called to kill them. Probably on my behalf, trying to make sure that I was going to be okay.
I would imagine that they would have been trying to fight to keep you from your from them attempting to kill you.
Yeah. I
Frostpine has been doing her best to listen for the most part, but has been scanning the graves to try and see if she can find Effervescence grave.
Yep.
Should I make
You
an
can
investigation check?
make an investigation or perception. Anybody may do so while they're in this graveyard here.
Okay. I will mention that Isopod, when they first came and noticed what looked like a fairly fresh grave, this one right in front of him.
Yeah. This guy right here.
Yes.
Looking
Well,
at
I
the
got an 18 on my perception.
I got a 23 on perception.
I got a
Ooh.
4.
On
18.
investigation. That's what you got a 4 in, Nola.
Indeed.
You know, all of these gravestones right here, Nala, some of them definitely look like Effervescence's name. You know, the group, the entire grouping of gravestones meant to be carved in later that aren't in active use.
Bloomer's just gonna be quiet because she has no fucking clue what she's doing.
But as for your 18, Frosted Pine, you do not spot it in this graveyard at all. As far as you can tell, it is not here. However, this 23 isopod that you got, you can tell that this fresh grave is indeed a dragon. However, it is not effervescence. In fact, I will say, kind of as you were walking in, you weren't paying too much attention, but it's called back to your memory now. You remember seeing a lone single gravestone out here.
Oh, wait a minute. There was a gravestone that wasn't near any other gravestones.
Damn.
Oh, do you suspect that might be the
Maybe.
one?
I'm gonna go look.
Hey,
I
outside the
assume
Frostpine is
wall.
going
that.
to follow along.
I'm kind of assuming that she's just with me.
Yep.
Oh, I honestly keep forgetting about my human.
Yeah, I've been dragging your human every time.
I feel like Glimmer just kind of assumes that Elma's just gonna keep up.
Sniff, sniff. Is this it?
You look at it and it is indeed ends up having Effervescence's name on it. Kind of a, it's not necessarily unmarked, but it's basically an unmarked gravestone in the not grave area. One of the walk paths, just kind of haphazardly put here.
Isopod backs up and just lets uh Sword pay her respects.
Glimmer's just
Do what
gonna
she needs to do.
keep watch for a little bit, just kind of on instinct.
She will kind of get on her knees and kind of put her hand over the gravestone and the ground as she kind of cries a small bit. I won't do it here, but you hear her scream a bit in devastation. You can see the sheer pain and whatnot that the realization, the reality that is finally kicking in, kind of hitting her all at once. And I absolutely hate to do this, but I do need a perception check from you, Aaron.
And okay, load. I got a 14.
Anybody else see this particular patch of grass bugging the hell out?
No. But that sounds funny.
Yeah, it's just like the texture is just rotating in random directions.
Yeah, but I see it whenever I move the camera. But yeah, I got a 14.
14?
Yes.
There you go. That's what I was looking for. All right. You don't notice. Set the proper size. As somebody comes up and ends up grabbing Moss
Oh my gosh.
and kind of backing up just ever so slightly out of your immediate reach. But Moss kind of squeaks, and it is obvious that somebody is, holding Moss at knife point at the throat at this point.
Eyes Spud turns.
Glimmer is gonna spin around.
Frostbite just snaps around and growl and gives out a little growl. What do you think you're doing?
Now, hold on. I have just a little bit that I need to end up saying before anything else. This is simply assurance right here. To
Well,
make
you
sure
could've
that
just
you're not
asked
going
us-
to attack.
I thought instantly, like, you could have just asked us to talk. Kind of rude to point a knife at someone's throat.
I just know that having the upper hand tends to get people to listen instead of attack first, especially in my line of work.
Say your
Someone
piece.
just rolls his eyes like, this guy's not serious right now.
Glimmer's just gonna be like, say your piece and be done with it.
The king, the emperor, I should say, he likes to go by that title at this point, has cordially invited all three of you and your companions. He wishes to speak with you all and hopefully put this misunderstanding behind all of us. And before you make any quick decisions or rash actions, just know that the one they call Mantis will be in attendance. You'll all be guaranteed to walk out freely after the meeting, of course.
Am I allowed to use any spells right now?
You are indeed. Especially since you do have the ability to make it silent, so that way there is no somatic or verbal components.
I am going to use Subtle Spell to Misty Step behind him and do the grabby.
Absolutely. So you just whoop. Go ahead and make a athletics check.
Oh, but
Hypothetically speaking, since humans are on an entirely different size class than us, would the human also have disadvantage?
You know, normally they would. However, somebody ends up, changing things based on emotions, and they're very afraid of somebody right now. However, with that said, it doesn't matter as they rolled a 2.
Excellent.
I rolled a 20.
Damn, 10 times more effective.
I was like, smack. Okay. You're gonna be our prisoner now.
Just-
What do you
how
get?
the turns have tabled.
It's like, okay, you wanna play games? Okay. Isopod didn't think he would get this far. She just kind of got him pinned.
Glimmer is just gonna come up. Of all of us to hold a hostage, hold hostage, you picked probably the most dangerous one out of all of us. You realize...
Proserpine is just. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, as Glimmer, you don't realize it, but you could have gotten us all killed by doing that. I didn't want to say anything, but you could have.
Proserpine is just comforting Moss, just making sure that she's calm. Then suddenly snaps her head towards the towards the human that was taking her prisoner. Perhaps I should show you why we dragons are the dominant species back in our land, back in our lands. Now, you had better tell us, but if you don't want that, then one, you had better beg for mercy, and two, you had better tell us everything. Everything
We
that you
don't really have
know
to threaten
about.
him. I mean, he's pinned. He can't really do anything. It would be very rude and counterproductive to actually hurt him right now, this exact moment.
Proserpine just gives a slow glare.
Why are you booing him, right?
He tried to use Moss as a prisoner.
And I disabled him.
Yeah. I would like to know what everybody's passive perception is.
Oh, there's more than one, isn't there?
My passive perception is 15.
15. Oh, thank
11.
God. What?
Oh, that was a good bounce. Okay.
Is this a... Oh, no.
So, it was going to be kind of silent, but it's not going to be extremely silent at this point. You end up, this isn't him specifically. You end up hearing him say, right. I'll end up, talking a little bit. Like I said, it was just to get your attention. And before he's able to say anything else, you end up watching as Sword ends up pulling out her little dagger and almost emotionlessly begins to slip it into his throat.
Ooh. Okay.
Why did you do
The
that?
only
No, okay.
person close enough to start to do anything who was able to notice is Isopod.
Oh gosh. Can I try to, like, make her stop before she actually hits his throat?
Yeah, it's already started to go in. However, you do have a healer that is here with you. You might be able to do something to stop her from finishing the job. So that way he might be able to end up saving this person at the very least.
Okay, wacky question.
Yes.
Would a mage hand be able to like yank her hand away?
You might be able to potentially do that. It is able to end up doing about 10 pounds, and it does not look like she is moving with any form of strength at the moment. It might be able to just manage it. You will need to roll your spell attack against her normal 2 attack.
Oh no, mage hand isn't even attacked.
Yeah, it isn't, but we're just rolling it as a spell attack in order to kind of like go against what she's doing right now.
So how would that be
How would
calculated?
that work?
Yeah.
So you add your charisma modifier, and you're also going to add your proficiency bonus. That is your spell attack. Any spells that require, like acid splash, for instance, would be a spell attack. So you would
So
end up
a d20 plus 6 for you.
16.
16.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to actually see what the last thing I rolled was. It is just enough. You end up, she gets roughly about halfway into the neck with the dagger as you quickly end up using your mage hand to kind of stop and pull her hand back. You hear this guy gurgle a little bit as he's unable to breathe at this point, quickly bleeding. He is alive at the moment, but needs instantaneous and immediate healing. Otherwise, he is dead in the next few seconds.
Glimmer is going to just get close and press the crystal against this person. I think roughly how much of a charge of lay on hands would be enough, do you think?
I'll give you 5. 5 will be enough.
Okay.
I'm so happy that mage hand is a cantrip.
It's a really good one if you know how to use it right. I'll
And
be
apparently I
honest.
just used it right.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's really good, and
Mhm.
it sticks around too. It's just there for a whole
This
minute.
is their, yeah,
Mhm.
keeping her from stabbing anymore.
You could use Mage Hand to slap a bitch.
Yeah. It can't attack, but
It can inflict psychic damage. I'm kidding.
yeah.
I can shove the fingers into their eyes.
We're
It
not
Uh,
will
bad.
actually, yeah.
but yeah, go ahead and you heal. Isopod, I'm assuming you have words.
Yeah. Sword, why would you do that? He was doing nothing just now. I had him pinned. What is wrong with you? He's like growling, but more in like a freaked out kind of way.
Glimmer is going to be ensuring that this person remains stable while
Mhm.
also ensuring that they don't try to get away
Yeah,
while Isopod's distracted.
yeah. He
Yeah.
works for the Emperor. He has Mantis. I won't end up losing another dragon. Not again. I'm doing what needs to be done.
What needs to be
He,
done is to have any advantage we can. Any information that we could possibly get, even if it's false, is still information.
See,
Can't
she
go in blind.
did. You see, she kind of steps away a little bit. Just kind of tries to breathe a little bit. You see her kind of looking down at her bloodied hands.
Icepod sighs. Look, I I get that you're afraid of losing another dragon. I get it. I I know I haven't had to deal with death or losing anyone like that, but even then, I did go through grief before. It's I he kind of struggles to get the words out before he finally just says, just try to have a cool head. I know that's easier said than done, but killing him is going to ensure that something does happen. Even if he steers us wrong, he can give us information.
Exactly.
It's roughly about this point that you can see your healing has stabilized him. He is back to normal at this point.
Yeah. Listen, sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Aaron, do you have anything in particular in this moment? Moss is, kind of shaking a little bit. You could tell some of her magic has gone out a little bit and has strengthened and empowered this individual more than it probably should.
Frostbite is just going to growl slightly before starting to walk away. I need to calm Moss. I'll be back when she's stable. And she just
And
sort of
just casually
flies off.
drag her away.
Yeah. So
She just flies off while tucking Moss into her bag.
yeah. Glimmer is going to think for a moment, and then she'll. I don't know if I've told you. Have I used Zone of Truth?
You used it
You guys?
once before, yes.
Okay.
I believe you used it whenever you very first ended up meeting the Iron Wings and one of the Dragon Guard.
Okay. So I don't think that Glimmer really said anything to anybody else about what was happening there.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he just used it, but didn't say anything. Are you saying something now and using it?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I think Glimmer's gonna speak up about it. So, I have a way to determine if someone's telling the truth. Potentially. Would that
Well,
make you feel any better, Sword?
She seems a little silent, kind of looking at her bloodied hands, trying to calm down and kind of reassess and kind of trying to put her mind back in working order.
In that time, I'm gonna go ahead and just cast Zone of Truth. Specifically, let's see.
Yeah. I'm assuming a 14 fails.
Actually, that's exact what you needed to pass.
Okay.
oh no.
So I do know. I do know that they know that they succeeded.
Yeah, you do.
Does not seem to have worked. Unfortunately. However, what if I did it again?
You could. You
I'm
could
just
drop
gonna
it and then
make
cast
sure...
again.
Sorry, what was that?
I said you.
Athena?
I was gonna say, I'll check to make sure that I don't have anything to help you pass.
Yeah. I don't suppose you have the Bane spell, do you?
I do not.
Okay. So yeah.
I don't actually. It wouldn't matter. I'm just gonna cast it again. It's fine.
Okay. I will roll again. That one definitely fails. That is a 5,
Yeah,
6,
yippee.
8 in total. So yeah, he fails on
The
that one.
idea being that the magic of she's got a little necklace on, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like visible just under her armor. It's gonna like shine again, and assuming that this guy's resistance to the magic has effectively just been bypassed entirely the second time around.
Mm-hmm.
Those under the effect, you also specifically Isopod will have to make the save as well.
Okay, what's
Or
the
willingly fail it. You could just willingly fail it and not talk.
I'll willingly fail it and not talk. I don't care that much.
So, Isopod, just for your frame of reference, don't say anything. You won't be able to lie.
It's
I'm gonna.
10
That's
foot.
15 feet. It is, by the way. I'm gonna have to
15?
back up further.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Hang
have
on.
to.
Let
How do
me.
I rotate?
Oh, are you trying to make sure that that sword is just out of it?
I want to make sure. I'm gonna probably center it like here-ish, if that helps.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be what it is. I'm gonna. Can we say that I'm outside of it? I don't feel like moving. I'm
Yeah.
just barely touching the edge of it.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So
Julio.
yes.
Ask
You-
away.
So, is everything that you have told us so far true, to the best of your knowledge?
To the best of my knowledge, everything I have said is true. I've been told that you are guaranteed to be able to walk out freely after the meeting. Whether that itself is true or not, I don't know. But I've been told as such.
Isopod gives Glimmer a look like, asked about Mantis.
Do you personally know the location of Mantis?
I do.
Where? Right now.
At this very moment, he is this mantis, female dragon, orange scales, thing on head, is currently with the Emperor. A lot of the times he seems to like to pull her out around meal times, show her off, speak with her.
How's she look?
She looks fine. She doesn't look like she's worse for wear, if that's what you're meaning.
Most important question I have: who are you?
I am one of the assassins generally sent out, but more recently I've been more messenger than anything else.
Were you intending to kill anyone today, or was that just, like as you said, insurance?
It was insurance. However, should things have come to it, I would have then ended up killing.
Hmm.
And if we let you...
Isopod.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Isopod's gonna blink something at Glimmer.
You can just say it out loud.
Okay. He blinks to her with his glow scales. Maybe we could use him for something, but like a lot more broken up.
Maybe use for something. There we go.
Yes. Maybe use our assurance.
Yeah. Basically, this for context, Isopod has limited range of communication to begin with, and Glimmer also isn't a Sea Wing, but yet you know is just a little bit.
Yes.
So there's a very broken communication between the two silently, and I'd imagine they're probably going to try to like basically as a group, all three of the dragons are probably going to be learning how to use Isopod as basically a communication hub without words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the end of this session, I'm gonna have you guys kind of roll an intelligence check and see how much of the human language for the two of you that you have learned, as well as the Sea Wing language for everyone else as well.
Yeah.
Right. Makes
For a
sense.
non-Sea Wing, that's definitely a bit of a hard ask, but
Yeah.
So, okay.
But Glimmer's lucky. She's been around Sea Wings before, so she already has a small amount of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Let
But-
alone the education required.
Yeah.
But
Is there any other questions that you are asking him?
I will, actually. So, let's say... Sorry, hold on. I'm actually kind of stumped on questions here. I had one for a minute and I lost it. Let's say we let you go. What would you do?
Well, I'd end up returning with an answer of you're coming to the meal, the meeting, or you're not.
I suppose you can ask anything you want. Or you, Sword, if you have anything to add.
Sword's just still kind of silent right now.
Elm.
You see, she kind of sighs a small little bit. I personally would end up just liking to kill him, but that's because he tried to kill one of us. But I see the use in keeping him alive, so I'll hold back for now.
Good idea. I have some words for you later, but leave that be. Anyway.
Yes, Warden.
I saw just kind of reflexively says, "Don't ask your mother like that." Wait, she's not your mother. Where'd that come from?
I really don't want to know. Anyway.
Anyways, he growls at the guy and is like,
I suppose you are like the least threatening person I've ever met.
"I am them."
Which is really funny because technically speaking, is also one of the most dangerous here as an animus dragon.
And a hive-wing that can spit acid.
Yeah, it's really funny. Anyways, did you have any questions?
So, what if we decided we'd like to hold on to you for a little bit? What would happen?
Well, you could go back with me to the meeting, if that is your plan to actually attend the meeting. Otherwise, I'm assuming that I'm going to be tied up and carried on one of your backs. Thank God you don't have spikes.
Do you want us to?
I
Because I know
I can
someone who
make us
does.
have spikes.
I would prefer to be able to deliver my message of yay or nay.
No.
I'm not fond of heights.
Yeah, and we're not fond of people threatening our humans.
Touche.
Out of nowhere. That was rude. That was incredibly rude. You know that?
You know, it's awfully rude to do that on top of interrupting us in mourning.
Yeah.
Is
That's
that
a
You
good
could
what,
have
point.
waited like 20 minutes.
is that what was
Yeah.
happening here? I didn't end up
Yes.
Yes.
quite. I wasn't quite paying attention.
Well, you should have.
We're in a graveyard.
You weren't at one of the graves, as far as I could tell. This is one of the walk paths.
And there's a grave right there.
Oh, I guess they didn't care, whoever buried this one.
Yeah.
Oh, Icepod just growls a little louder, more just showing off, like, at least. Kind
Shut
of
up!
protective still.
Shut up! Shut up! It starts throttling. Shut up! Shut up!
You're lucky I don't want to kill you. You don't make me want to.
There is somebody here who wants to kill you. I might just throw you to them.
There's multiple people who want to kill you right now.
Oh, believe me, if I didn't have any use for you, I'd probably say, yeah, go for it.
Well, at this point, it's up to you. Take your choice.
I want everybody to have an opinion here. And share it, for that matter.
In that case,
What do
there's
you think?
still one
Go
in
ahead,
your
sorry.
party who hasn't ended up making any sort of talks or choices yet.
They've also been gone for a little bit.
Yes.
Hey, Frost!
Meanwhile,
here!
we'll pause here just for a second to get into Frosted Pine and Moss's conversation.
Where are they at?
They're just over here. They're not that
Oh,
far.
I didn't even see them.
Yeah, Frostbite has just been doing her best to communicate with Moss and just to calm the magic having human down.
Hmm.
Just trying to avoid any magic accidents as best as possible.
Yep. Because the last 2 times, one of them created the shark, the other one burnt a forest down. And this one ended up overpowering a human to basically be on dragon level.
Yep, so things are kind of... So it's definitely needed to calm her down.
Hmm.
Did I make a roll to determine how well I do in terms of going
Yes.
down the moss?
Yes, you may make a charisma check.
I got a 12.
At this point,
The rolls
with
could have been a lot better.
yeah, at this point with how close you are with Moss, a 12 is enough. She more or less kind of
Right.
presses herself against your scales and whatnot, kind of holding you a bit close. Would you like to
It's alright.
make any form of insight check? Since you can't really speak the language.
Right. Jesus Christ, my rolls have been fucking awful tonight. I got an 8.
Oh yeah, you don't you can't quite get too much. The only thing you kind of get is the feeling of not her to you, but kind of what you guess she is feeling from you, being that more of a bit of a maternal instinct. She almost kind of views you as more of a motherly figure.
So that is where we got that. Sorry,
Is
I'm
this
being
turning
silly.
into a freaking Kiryu and Haruka situation? Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
If you had rolled higher, you would you'd get way more information out of it, but you did not roll high.
Yeah.
You can always end up talking and learning more later. Everyone is able to learn more from their humans, should they want. So far, most of the information you've gotten has been more out of Sword than any of the other two.
Right.
But
So
we
after a few more
will,
moments,
yeah,
yep.
we will kind of make that the point where they're shouting over at you to get your attention.
Taking a few more moments to just make sure that Moss is calm.
Yeah.
Calm. Frost then heads over to see what the see. I think see how the situation is going.
Yep.
All right. Have you all been able to get any answers out of our little messenger here?
Well, yes. I'll tell you in a moment. It's just. Well, basically, I'm gonna. Okay, instead of saying that, I'm gonna just have Glimmer relay everything that's happened. Thank God you didn't step any closer, by the way, or you'd be stuck in that too.
Not necessarily stuck. You can walk out of it, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, so after hearing all of that, well, after you've heard all that, Glimmer is going to continue and say, well, I think we could potentially get some use out of this person, but what do you think we should do?
I think that we could get a bit of use out of them.
What do you propose we do? Let them go and make our own way to the meeting? Or not attend at all?
I say we
Frostapine
follow him.
Frostapine thinks for a few moments, then nods. It would be for the best. It could give us an opportunity to try and meet some of our goals. Retrieving Mantis, hopefully finding and freeing that Drain Wing.
That Glimmer cut Frosted Pine off right there before saying that, by the way. Specifically the thing about that other dragon.
Right. And as for you, Frostpine glares at the messenger. You're going to lead us there, and you will not try anything funny. And you also won't tell anyone about how things went here. Do I make myself clear? And then she's just going to make it, give a glare, that intimidating glare. So I'm going to go ahead and roll an intimidation check.
Yeah, go for it.
I have an idea. I'm gonna message.
Finally, a good roll. An 18.
Yay!
Oh, what were you saying, Noah?
I'm messaging something to Athena real quick.
Meanwhile, as you're doing that, and you made your intimidation, he's gonna. You could tell that he's definitely intimidated. But you can also tell that he is definitely a sarcastic type of person, as he ends up saying,
Oh, come on now. At least let me end up telling my dog. Or at least my grandma whenever I end up going over to share tea. She is half a foot in the grave as is.
Do I look as if I am in the mood for your... Do I look as if I am in the mood for your sarcasm?
Alright, I get the picture. Fine. Not a word, not a soul. Jeez, you could end up cheering up a little bit. It's a graveyard.
Exactly, it's a graveyard.
I'd recommend you stop with the jokes unless you'd also like to be buried here.
The perfect place to be buried.
Not touching my human.
Honestly, I was hoping to get more of a sea burial, but I get the picture.
This motherfucker's just trying to start shit.
I'm gonna end the zone of truth, by the way.
"Alrighty."
I assume that the mage hand has finished on sword's hand wrist thing.
Yeah, it's gone at this point.
Alright, so I think I'm gonna cast it again, except this time that way it's like ominously almost wrapped around the assassin's throat.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, if you do anything that any of that, well, that I don't like, if you even think about it or try it, this will choke you to death.
I ain't too familiar with ghost hands. I won't mess with it, promise. I'll walk straight. Can I at least end up tossing my weapons to the side to make it a little bit easier now?
Toss them towards me. I'll keep them. Or, you
He'll
know what? Elm,
Isopod's
take.
kind of growling.
yeah, you're a little quiet on your end over there.
Elm, you take the weapons.
At least I get to do something now. Maybe he'll have
Yeah.
something good on him that I can end up keeping, and Elm will start kind of going through the assassin's pockets, completely clearing of everything. They find a nice little dagger, and they'll end up kind of stowing it away. I'm keeping this one.
I almost had literally zero presence this entire session.
I know, that's why I'm trying to be more inclusive towards the character that is literally entirely here because I wouldn't let them go.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Elm will get her time to shine in the sun. The beginning is kind of a little bit more focused on Sword, as Sword came from this area.
Yeah.
Okay, once
Sword.
sorry.
Sword from this land and it has been very important to the story so far.
Yeah.
Far, had mysteries when me and Icepod, Moss, magic. So Frostbite is just keep an eye on her. Elm,
Oh,
thief.
that's it.
Oh,
Yes.
Elm has a lot to them. You just got to end up eventually getting to that point. But with that being said, Sword has mostly ended up kind of using up the story that she kind of has at this point. She still has a little bit, but you've gotten through Sword's kind of main story at this point. But with that said, any last minute things before we kind of wrap it up here?
Well, I guess once the weapons are all taken off him, Isopod's just finally gonna get off so he can get up if he wants.
Yeah, he'll stand up, but he stands up slowly, and he holds his wrists together and out, just kind of waiting for whoever is going to end up tying them up at this point, as he assumes.
Man,
As
might as
long as
well.
you behave. What? He can't go there. It bound up. So I
True.
say, as long as he doesn't try anything, he doesn't need that.
True enough.
Right? He glares over at the assassin.
Yeah, sure. I don't think I have anything. As far as I know, I don't have any other daggers in my pockets. Can't do nothing.
How about your boots?
Do you want them? I don't think they'll fit.
No, I meant did you have anything hidden in your boots?
Socks?
What are socks?
Ah, right. Y'all walk around bare feet. Nothing. Just
I'm assuming probably some sort of like underlayer of the boots, maybe?
you know, not that I think about it, dragons are weird. Y'all are sentient creatures that walk around naked.
I'm not naked, I'm wearing armor.
Yeah, no, I have my amulet.
Doesn't really count.
we don't
Doesn't
exactly
it?
have much reason to go about wearing cloth.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
when you think
Uh,
about it, it's a little weird from our perspective. Just most of you walking around naked and whatnot, whereas we all end up covering up. It's beside the point. Are we on our way? Are we going to camp for the night? What's the plan here?
we should probably camp for the night. And at that point, to that end, we're absolutely taking shifts to make sure this guy doesn't get away. Or
killed.
potentially.
Right.
Just in
Because
case.
we know that at least 3 members of our merry little band would like his death.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if we're going to camp out, I take my eggs scrambled when we wake up in the morning. A little bit of bacon. I like it crunchy.
You're gonna eat dirt if you don't stop talking.
Right. Gosh, take a joke. Fine. I'll be
You'll be
quiet.
lucky if you get a scrap of bread if you keep talking like that.
And with that, I think that will be the end of this session here.
Excellent.
Any last minute thoughts, praises of the game, points and sections that you like? And also, level up. You guys will end up leveling up to level 9 now.
Sweet. I'm thinking at the beginning of the next session, I'll probably go over every change that happened when I level up.
Okay.
Just so everybody following along knows what's different about Glimmer.
Yep. For those who want to end up taking the risk and rolling their health, you may end up choosing to roll now. For those that would like to keep it safe, you may end up taking the average. If you are going to roll, I would suggest going ahead and using the actual rolling system in here, just that way it's automatically visible to any of the viewers watching.
Oh
have
wait,
to
I'm
take
not
care of
rolling, I'm
mine
taking the
later.
average.
I need to get going.
Alright,
Yep.
well, we can handle your level up another time.
Yeah, we'll handle your level up, and I know you like to roll for your health. We could do that on the next session for you.
For me, I'm going to be doing the average because that's just what I prefer. It's easier.
Yeah, I prefer average
Same.
personally. I know some people enjoy rolling their health, so both of you will take average, and then you'll take the roll on next session. Okay. Otherwise, any moments in particular that you guys ended up enjoying that you would like to end up sharing with anybody watching the videos, or even just talking amongst yourselves?
Oh, I'm gonna
there's
be
a lot
going,
of
so talk to y'all later.
No, yeah, you're good. This is mainly for the other two. You're good, man. I know you got work.
I really personally enjoyed the parts where I just commanded somebody to forget, and the dude just, I didn't say how much this dude forgot. He could have permanent life-altering amnesia for all we know.
the entire command battle was funny.
Yeah. Like, no, you. Actually, no, I'm good. Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm gonna stab you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though the interrogation was really fun to play out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was one of the jokes. Whenever you ended up commanding him to forget, the two of them walked in, saw him just standing there, because he had forgotten anything and everything to really do at that moment, and so he was just kind of standing there. That was the joke they were making. It's like, why are you just standing there? And then moved on.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm just gonna make it my personal headcanon that guy's been hospitalized for severe brain damage.
But they just cannot figure out what happened.
Yeah, Glimmer might have overdone it that first time using that spell.
Yeah.
But yeah. I liked the interrogation too because I love doing interrogations with Glimmer. It's great.
Oh yeah. I like to think that Icepod was a little more scary than normal.
Meanwhile, Glimmer's just like, you're the least threatening person that I know.
And he's like, I have Venom.
Yes.
And then also,
And
don't sound your mother like that. Wait a minute, she's not your mother. Where did that come from?
God, that's just great. 6 plus Constitution. 6 plus 8. I got a 99 HP.
Ooh, very nice. It'll be a little while until you level up again, so count the 1 hit point in the for the future.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I potentially just worried about the fact that I literally get nothing other than. Oh no, I get 3rd level spells this level.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are we gonna handle the idea of Glimmer getting access to higher powered magic? Is that just gonna be like that? Maybe Isopod enchanted a few things.
In short, it'll end up kind of being more of an accidental thing, in more or less, because if you remember, the whole obviously there's the plot with this land and the king, the emperor as he likes to be called now, as the title seems to have been recently changed by him, specifically likes and that is the main kind of thing. You're kind of going around and you're gonna kind of like try and help solve the issues of this island, similar to how most of the other books. That's kind of how it's been, right? You go and you solve the main issue at hand. But while that is the main issue, you got to remember what you got sent here in the first place for. Animus magic is going weird and quirky and haywire, more or less. Apparently you have humans who have never had it before suddenly getting it, and other people are suddenly awakening to it even though they were never born with it in the first place. So in short, things are just kind of going wild and crazy between both Isopod and Moss. There's going to be random items accidentally enchanted just without them even meaning to, and so you could very easily get like a random item that drops from them that does what it is that you need.
All right, and just for clarity, more or less just inquiring really.
Yeah.
Could I have dispel magic? Because that's on the list of things that I could pick anyway as a paladin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe the reasoning being that one of the two was mumbling something about wishing they could just make certain things not happen because they're magic.
Yep. I will forewarn you. Dispel magic will work perfectly fine if you're going to do it like against normal spells and whatnot. However, if you're doing it against any objects, it'll either only suppress it temporarily, or you will end up having to make a check if it is strong enough to actually be able to, properly dispel any magic contained within.
Yeah, because there's actually something that's very rarely mentioned. That's a good point that you've made. Very rarely mentioned in the canon books and such. But certain animus spells are more powerful if the person has an emotional connection to the object they're enchanting.
Yeah.
So something.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, it's actually very I think it's mentioned offhandedly like one time in I think book 8.
Really?
Or nah, that might be book 9. That's book 9.
Was it Turtle's book?
Yeah, that's Turtle's book is 9, right?
Yeah, then 9.
Yeah.
I do know that Jeroboam, the original Jeroboam,
Jeroboam, yeah.
their magic was amazingly strong whenever they ended up kind of doing anything. In fact, they ended up making the spell, spoilers for anybody who hasn't read up yet, forewarning now, for those who haven't read yet, it's spoilers, but they ended up casting a spell on Jeroboam the second, third, I forget, but they ended up, on them that can't be undone, basically. Like
When was it?
I could probably logically think of a way out of it, but as per canon, it is unbreakable.
Oh, it was the consequences spell, wasn't it?
Yeah. They made the spell against them that is unbreakable. I could probably, in reality, think of a way out of it, but as per canon, it is unbreakable.
Yeah, certain spells are quite unbreakable. Yes.
Which is one reason why, as far as you could tell, the animus magic is going wild right now and crazy.
Yeah.
because something
and
is wrong.
in the canon that Athena and I share, a lot of the animus dragons that we have were either not actually animus dragons at the time that that one spell was cast, or the one
Non-existent.
that's or weren't even born yet, or in the case of my one Rainwing animus named Anaconda, he in particular had gone completely insane, made himself accidentally immortal, and lodged a giant crystal in his chest that protects him from other animus dragons' magic. Period.
Yeah, you will uncover as to why in this canon of events that I'm kind of making, as to why everything is kind of going the way it is. There is quite literally an answer for everything, and I've been leaving small little bits of breadcrumbs and trails for you to be able to learn and whatnot. For instance, I know that Isopods player Embius Tanuki here, Athena, has was kind of questioning the color scheme and whatnot of the Iron Wings, which is a completely fair question, but there is an answer behind it, and there has been already been some breadcrumbs left behind to kind of already have that answer if you're smart enough to kind of pick up on them.
Yeah, the thing is, I am smart enough to pick up on things, but I'm also an idiot.
Which is me too. That's me too.
Like, I will pick up on it, and then just assume maybe I'm just reading things wrong or overextending my line of thought, because I've done that before when reading the books, especially,
Yeah.
where I come up with something so incredibly advanced and complicated off of one or two details that's just like completely off the wall stupid, or the answer is right in front of me and it's extremely obvious, and I'm just like, well, what the hell does that mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Huh? What?
But thank you everyone who has been watching us live or is watching the video now. For those watching the video, you can look in the description and you'll end up finding the link for our Discord server where you can talk to us, put your own theories in there, see the official artwork for different characters and the Iron Wings themselves. Otherwise, if you're watching this live, you can go and look up on YouTube the Devious DM, and you'll be able to end up finding our videos over there. Thank you guys for watching. That'll be the end of the stream.
nice.